Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. Today, Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi took oath as the Lok Sabha MP of Wayanad. She was clad in a traditional Kerala sari with a constitution booklet in her hand. She took oath, and that was one of the defining moments of today because soon on the social media we saw a picture of Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, and Sonia Gandhi together, with people saying that now the entire Gandhi family is in parliament. But beyond this, there are many questions. What is the kind of difference which Priyanka Gandhi's entry into parliament brings in? What is the kind of value addition? What are the merits? And how is it really going to impact the intra-party dynamics within Congress? So we'll try and discuss all of this. Joining me now is a special panel, Javed Ansari with us, veteran journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much for joining. We have Anand Sahai, a veteran journalist again and political commentator. Thank you so much, Anand sir, for joining. And we have Professor Shashi Shekhar Singh from Delhi University, who's part of the political science department and is a social and political commentator. Thank you so much, Professor Singh, for joining. And I'll begin with Javed Ansari. Javed has also closely followed so many developments within Congress. Javed, how do you really see the entry of Priyanka Gandhi in Parliament? What is the kind of difference it brings in to Congress as a party?
Well, she will only be able to make a difference and perform if Parliament functions. For all that to happen, Parliament must function. Parliament hardly ever functions these days. And Anandji will hear me out. There was a speakers conference a couple of years, close to 10 years ago, where all the speakers and they from parts of from across the country had passed a joint resolution and unanimous resolution saying that Parliament must meet and function for at least 120 days in a calendar year. So leave alone 120 days, they don't even meet and function for 20 days. For anybody to make an impact, for anybody to function, for anybody to make his or her mark, Parliament needs to function. Having said that, well, it is because Priyanka has a facility with words. She's multilingual. She has an ability to work with people, all kinds of people, those senior, even those newcomers like her, youngsters like her. She has that ability. She's a people's person, unlike Rahul. All this comes naturally to her, whereas Rahul has to work at all this. And because she's able to speak very fluently in Hindi, the Congress party's messaging and narrative as far as the Hindi heartland is concerned, it'll be easier for them to spread their narrative. But like I said, I mean, and she doesn't have an easy task. I'm sure, like they boo and they barrack, they try and interrupt her brother. After a few days, they will start doing the same to her, but she'll have to face all. This is part and parcel of politics. And like Pranab Mukherjee used to say, the best learning place for a budding politician is to spend time in Parliament. One lesson she must imbibe is spend as much time as possible in Parliament. Sit through. That's the best learning experience.
All right. Now let me come to Anand. How would you really see? Of course, we have to see the parliament functioning. Then only Priyanka Gandhi can make her speech. Now, whether that will happen during this session looks unlikely because of the deadlock over the Adani US indictment issue. And we don't know how many. I mean, there are a total of 19 sittings. And so far, today is the third consecutive day when the parliament has got adjourned. But besides that, what is the kind of value addition which you see? Which Priyanka Gandhi really will bring in within Congress as a party. And I would also want you to comment on the demerits of it. I mean, the kind of sycophancy and the darbar culture, which many have been speaking about in Congress. What happens to that? So if you could give us a complete sense of as to what is the kind of difference which Priyanka Gandhi's entry will make as far as Congress is concerned.
Well, to take the latter part of your question first, the Congress, unfortunately, for a very long time, has been a victim of this darbar culture. That, in my view, springs from the fact that they held the seats of power for many decades. So they were the first, became the first victims of the VVVVIP culture. That's one thing. Others followed later. Today, there is not a party, including the BJP. I will exclude the left here. To an extent, I will exclude also the Samajwadis, the former Samajwadis, who now go under different labels. They're too few. They're too few in parliament right now. But this culture has unfortunately gripped every major party, and Congress is the first guilty entity in that regard. It will not be easy for it to uh, overthrow that culture. That's one. Number two, the Congress, perhaps a little bit more than other parties, is also a victim of dynasty culture. So dynasty culture. Other parties have very happily followed suit, and it is they cannot complain. I think when the prime minister or senior members of his party talk about dynasty, I think they are hitting at the wrong place, and nobody believes them anymore, because every party has become exactly that. So because of this dynasty culture, because of this darbar culture, the Congress party will suffer because it has a larger presence in the House today than any other opposition party. Therefore, that will be evident. You'll find more Congress members lunging to her defense, and all those things will happen, and then people will make fun of it. But I think this is all very superficial stuff. Priyanka Gandhi has the ability, she has the presence, she has the charm, and she has the force of argument, and the felicity with both English and Hindi to make a mark right away. When you hear her speak in UP, I was there for the campaign in UP this time in the Lok Sabha election. You would think that this lady has never stepped out of Allahabad. If you found her in a glossy drawing room of Delhi, westernized drawing room, you'll feel that she's never been anywhere except these glossy drawing rooms. She can summon both with equal verve. So that's Priyanka Gandhi's basic abilities as a speaker. And when you are really a champion public speaker on a political dais, and I think today I'm speaking about people who speak in Hindi and in English. I've heard a great number of them. Today, I think I would rate Priyanka Gandhi above a very large number of people that I have known personally and many that I have seen in action. And there's no question about that. She has great instinctive political reactions. If on the opposition party benches, and I don't mean only the Congress party, if there is anyone who can, come back with a sharp riposte, rejoinder to even the very below the belt barbs of those very, very high up in the government and in the ruling party, I think she can disarm them with argument, political argument, without stooping low as they do. How low they have stooped was evident in the Lok Sabha campaign, and it's evident in every assembly campaign. Let me not name people who stoop so low, but I think the country knows their names are on everyone's lips. So Priyanka by far will outshine anyone in parliament today. And outshine not only because she has charm, and not only because she's from that, she's a dynast after all, from that very, very high profile, distinguished family, which has seen ups and downs, but also because of the nature of politics she represents. Within the Congress fold, right from the start almost, certainly from the 40s onward, there have been two or three different trends. One has been the trend represented at one time by Jawaharlal, Subhash Bose, Jayaprakash. Lesser known people were EMS, etc., were in the same party. Raman Manohar Lohia, slightly younger. They were all in the same party. Very, very brilliant people, very bright people. They carry the left stream. They may have differed amongst themselves. And one can make any amount of criticism about any of these people. You only have to to take a recourse to history and their actions through historical time. But that aside, there was other traditional congressmen. Then there were communal congressmen. There were all kinds of congressmen throughout the last 60, 70 years. They've all made a contribution. They were all contributing to the freedom struggle, unlike the BJP RSS stream, whose contribution was not to the freedom struggle. Unlike the Muslim League stream of Jinnah Sahab, whose contribution was not towards the freedom struggle. So that was very clear. Now, within that Congress framework, broad political ideological framework over time, I think the most significant Congress leaders of today, that is Rahul Gandhi, also his mother, Sonia Gandhi, who is not as active as she was, but she has a certain presence, and most certainly Priyanka Gandhi. They belong to that stream of. And sorry, if you'll just let me finish this, it will not be fair to say you're left, you're right, and you're center and all that. So all that is true somewhere. But I think where you want to push a political agenda which is in favor of the poor of this country, favor of the working classes, favor of the peasant classes, though that stream of, so if you're a proponent of that stream, then you will go quite far, both in parliament and in the public arena. Yeah, I'll stop there.
Right. All right. Yeah. All right. Professor Singh, now what is the kind of impact which Priyanka Gandhi's entry will have on Congress in terms of the intra-party dynamics? Are we going to see a Rahul camp and, not as opposed to each other, but of course, you will have like two different offices because they are the ones who are going to drive the party. And I'll also ask this question to Javed as well. But what is your feeling? Are we going to see these camps existing? And now, because obviously Sonia Gandhi is not very active and everything is going to revolve around Rahul and Priyanka now. So what is the kind of impacts you see on the workings of the Congress, the workmen, the cadres and the leaders?
See, Rahul Gandhi is the leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, right? And Priyanka Gandhi is the member of parliament, Lok Sabha member. So the Lok Sabha is concerned, of course, the Rahul is the leader, and at the same time, Rahul is the real face of Indian National Congress. That is also, equally true. Now the point is, Priyanka Gandhi is the General Secretary of the Indian National Congress. So regarding the organization, definitely she has to work very hard to make the organization again very functional, very lively, and of course having contact with the people. And Priyanka has that ability. She has the ability to contact with the people in a very simple language. Of course, I don't say that she speaks in a very, Sanskritized kind of, Hindi or no. She has a very simple kind of language, and that language may help her to contact with the common masses of this country. But as you are talking about two kind of power centers may emerge after the victory of Priyanka Gandhi as the member of Lok Sabha. I don't think so, because I have already what I have understood so far, both of them had a very good tuning with each other. Okay. So both of them had, and at the same time, Priyanka Gandhi accepts Rahul Gandhi as the leader of the party. Of course, he is the elder brother, no doubt. But even then, she accepts Rahul Gandhi as the leader. And because of this, she will not try to make any other power center within the party. So the question of will there be, some sort of a conflict in in the party or within the party, at least I don't think so. I don't think so right now. Though, as you know, politics is always the game of possibilities. There may be number of possibilities in any political party or anywhere. Okay, but at the same time, if you ask me what role Priyanka should play in the party to strengthen, Congress party, and of course the India alliance, I will say that Priyanka Gandhi must focus on the organizational part, because Congress is a very weak organization, and due to that weak organization, party is not attaining that popularity what the party should have. So in that case, if Rahul Gandhi, take into accounts, Rahul Gandhi takes into account the people's part, and Priyanka Gandhi takes into account the organizational part, that could be, and they will be complementary to each other to make the party, powerful. And that's why I have at the moment, and even for future sake, I don't see there will be any conflict within the party, because of the two power centers. So there will be single power center. At the same time, as you know that the Congress is, Kharge is the president of the Indian National Congress, but as I said, the real face of Indian National Congress is Rahul Gandhi, and Priyanka will supplement the role of the Rahul Gandhi to attain the masses support in the party.
Okay, right. So you're saying that you will not see, you don't see any conflict coming up in the coming days, and rather she's going to be a supplementing force. Javed, if I may ask you, I'll just pick on the point which Professor Shashi Shekhar Singh said, that she could supplement in terms of strengthening the organization. Do you see Priyanka Gandhi now phasing out the senior leaders? Say, for example, K.C. Venugopal, Jairam Ramesh. Though all of them have individual roles, but do you see her replacing these old leaders in some way or the other? Because I'm sure the brother and the sister are thinking in terms of how to take the party forward. And you have the older generation also. So how do you see things changing? Because now you have a president who's 80 plus, and now the brother and sister on the driver's seat. What kind of intra-party changes you would see? You are, thinking you may see in the coming days.
As far as your question with regard to phasing out people is concerned, she doesn't have to become an MP to be able to do that. The brother and the mother call the shots in the party. Her voice does carry a lot of weight with them, and even with the rank and file. So if changes had to be made, they didn't have to wait for Priyanka Gandhi to become a member of parliament for that to happen. Two, I do not think Mr. K.C. Venugopal, with all due respect to him, is a senior in the party. He's there not by virtue of his seniority. He's there because somebody liked the way his name is pronounced or liked the way he looks, because seniority is certainly not one of his strong points. The other thing is, also don't forget, I don't know how much of authority she carries in the organ to bring about changes, because she is a general secretary, but the only general secretary who hasn't been assigned a task or assigned any of the states. She's like a minister without portfolio. Therefore, again, so I don't know what she will do. Here, today is a very important day for her, because she has taken oath as MP, and she could do well to emulate her paternal grandfather, Mr. Feroz Gandhi. Anand Sahaji will bear me out. He was a parliamentarian par excellence. He and, of course, Jawaharlal Nehru. Rajiv Ji and Indira Gandhi, I won't consider them the same league as parliamentarian. But Feroz Gandhi was a standalone, and she would do herself immense good if she emulates her paternal grandfather, because, and for that she has to do her homework. And these days MPs are now, backed up with all the infrastructure support. There's a whole research team, etc. So research combined with her instinctiveness, if she can marry all that, plus speaking, which come her oratory skills, the ingredients are there for her to make her mark as a parliamentarian. But everything will depend on how much of effort, how much of time and energy she can devote to it. I do not see a clash between brother and sister. She will perforce play second fiddle to her brother. Like Professor Saab said, it will be a supplementary role. I do not see a situation although stranger things have happened in politics. But I do not see a situation where she will allow herself to be in a position which upstages her brother in any way.
Right.
That I don't see happening.
Okay. In terms of changes as far as the culture of Congress is concerned, Anand, do you see any changes in the culture of Congress? How they deal with the party cadres? Is that going to change somehow? And also, I'm coming back again to that same sycophancy which is seen, like say for example, when the results were coming out that day when Priyanka Gandhi won, then there was a picture which was doing the rounds on the social media outside Anand Bhavan. People had written up Indira Gandhi wapis aa gayi. Something like that, people had started talking about that Indira Gandhi is back. So this culture of sycophancy, can this be stemmed? And, people swooning over the Gandhis. And I don't know how much Priyanka Gandhi would entertain a culture like that. So are all these things also going to change now with the brother and the sister, now with the driver's seat?
You see, I'll tell you what. You watch a Sunil Gavaskar walking to bat, or Tendulkar, or ML Jayasinghe in an earlier generation, or Azharuddin, they may come back with a duck. And yet, the crowd, electricity goes through the crowd. Or Rohan Kanai, or Sobers. They are there is something which is beyond demand, supply, quantity, etc. Some people have acquired charisma on account of their great actions. Some have come with it on account of their other circumstances like family, etc. So that you cannot help. If outside Anand Bhavan, there is this thing about Indira Gandhi, this is not an example of sycophancy. People who hate the Gandhis, who hate the Congress party, they would also say, abhi dekhiye wo Indira Gandhi ki ekdam hoo-bahu wahi picture aa rahi hai. I first saw Priyanka Gandhi, when she would have been 12 or 13 years old. When Mrs. Indira Gandhi passed away, the body lay in state in Tinmurti Bhavan. Somehow, by evading security, etc., I took my then editor along to see the thing, and everybody saw it. Here was this young kid standing in the grounds with a few people around her, and no one could be struck by the fact, no one could not be struck by the fact that there is Indira lying in state and there is another Indira standing right here. So we were not sycophants, we were neutral observers on that day. But everybody felt that. So let's not mix up categories when we discuss. But there will be sycophancy in Parliament. There will be all of those things. Because Priyanka is not an ordinary congresswoman. That aside, I will say to everything which has been said so far in the discussion, all very valid points, that Priyanka, as well as her brother, the leader of the opposition, Sri Rahul Gandhi, exactly like their mother before them, they will be effect, no matter how much how much weight they may carry as individuals or their personal attributes, but they will matter. They will appear to be strong and effective only to the extent that the Congress party on the ground in the country is strong and effective. If the Congress party is going to be weak, if it goes on losing election after election, if you may point a finger, and sometimes quite rightly so, at the EVM, at the same time, no Congress person can put his or her hand on her heart and say, listen, we did our best. That does not happen. Starting from the selection of candidates, the raising of issues, the building of a narrative, then the basic nuts and bolts of any effective organization. Congress utterly lacks these things. So no matter how effective you may be as an individual in the House, but you've just lost an election and you come here, then you count for less. Smaller parties. I remember Pilu Modi in Parliament, in the Rajya Sabha. I remember those days. I remember Bhupesh Gupta. I remember Hiren Mukherjee. or brilliant parliamentarians, each of a different kind, brilliant, absolutely. And yet, how effective were they when you look at the long term? Because they represented small parties. They represented electorally relatively weak parties. Right? Jansangh. I remember Atal Bihari Vajpayee in parliament when he was, when his party was small. Oh, we all used to clap. What a lovely speaker. But beyond that, nothing. मजाक चलता था उस जमाने में. Oh, we heard him, spellbound. But what did he say? He said nothing. He had this great facility of spinning the words, criticizing the government, but saying nothing, saying so little, because his party was tiny. It didn't really amount to very much. His ideological foundations are weak. Congress has strong ideological foundations under the present leadership.
Right.
So, but unless they have that strength, which means doing a whole lot of things outside of parliament.
Right.
Yeah.
One quick comment to Anand, from Anand sir again, and then I'll go to Professor Singh, that we've completely left out throughout the discussion one important bit, that what is Priyanka's presence going to do to the Modi government? Because all this while we've seen Rahul Gandhi targeting Modi government on all the issues on which they've kept silent. Now, when the brother and the sister are together in parliament, what is the kind of might which the Modi government will have to really face inside parliament? Very quickly and very briefly, and then I'll ask for the concluding comments from Professor Singh. Yes, Anand.
Because Priyanka is such a capable speaker with a strong political sense and presence of mind, therefore she would make a mark against the government in her repartees, in the things she says. But I have so little faith left in the media that I have served for 50 years plus in my life. What they will carry, they will ultimately, their attempt will throughout be to show the opposition in a weak light and show completely inept people in the ruling party. Inept because they are heartless, because they really sometimes surprise you with the level of their thoughts and ideas and policies, which ultimately hurt the nation's interest. And yet they are the ones who the media lauds. So what can you say about that? It is not in the hands of any particular person. So on balance, the ruling party remains strong, especially after the win in Maharashtra, no matter how much doubt is being cast on it today.
All right. Now I'll come for the concluding comments to Professor Singh. What would you really like to say, sir, in the end on Priyanka's entry into parliament? And what is the kind of change you see as far as national politics is concerned? Is she going to really leave an impact on national politics?
No doubt. She, as other speakers have already said, she's a very good speaker. And she has a direct connect with the people in a very simple language. And that language is required. So, as far as parliament is concerned, she will be a very good speaker in the parliament. She may be a future very good parliamentarian. So in that sense, I see Priyanka is a very good. The kind of asset for the party in the parliament and even in outside the parliament. But at the same time, that the personal one thing.
Is she going to? No, is she? Do you think that she's going to be restricted to Wayanad alone? Or she's going to travel elsewhere because she's one of the key leaders of Congress? Like, say, for example, when she was campaigning for Wayanad, she didn't go to any other place where, she could have had an indelible impact in those areas, but she restricted herself to Wayanad. So are you thinking that she's going to restrict herself only to that part of Kerala, or she's going to travel elsewhere, have a national impact, just like Rahul Gandhi has?
No, I don't think so. Because you see, the election was in Wayanad. And of course, he was contesting election for the first time. And the victory is very important for the party, Suppose if she could have lost the election in any way. It is just an imagination, but what would happen? So therefore, Wayanad was very important for Priyanka Gandhi as well as for the party, right? Now, if you remember again the Amethi election, she was there for KL Sharma all the time, throughout the time, because Amethi was very important, because Smriti Irani was, contesting, and therefore, for defeating, Smriti Irani was very important, not for, KL Sharma, but for the party too. So that is why now, since Priyanka is member of parliament in the Lok Sabha, and she's, she's elected from Wayanad with a very large, huge, 4 lakhs plus votes. So in that sense, and she is the general secretary, as I said, so definitely she will move around, she will go to place, and she will work for the party, and she will try to make the party, more effective, more functionally viable, to bring, a challenge to the BJP and Modi government. I think so. I have full faith in Priyanka's ability.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So we'll have to wait and watch. Interesting times ahead with Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, and Priyanka Gandhi now together in parliament. What is the kind of impact it will have on national politics? And of course, more significantly, what is the kind of change? What are the kind of changes which we are going to see in Congress? So thank you so much, Mr. Anand Sahai. It was wonderful having you on the program. And Professor Singh, you too. Thank you very much.